Here we are following on from the previous video on this playlist. I had just put in the edit and delete icons, and again just to point out the way that these work is I'm hovering over, I can see the tooltip down on the bottom left hand screen, and when I click on any of these different icons for delete, I can see the actual address bar. The page doesn't exist yet, but the actual parameter has been passed using the get method. The parameter staff ID set to whatever the actual value is, whatever the actual staff ID is that I'm picking to delete. So we're going to move on now and actually put in this delete functionality. I'm going to go back to my code, and to start off with, I've tidied up my code a little bit. I've put in an external style sheet, and I just want to use this as a template for my delete page. So my page is going to be called deletestaff.php. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm just going to resave this page as delete staff. And the typical things that I'll do is just take out all of the things that make this page a show staff page and leave everything in it that's going to be still used for the delete staff. So I still need to connect to the database, so that stays, and I also still need to close the connection, so that stays as well. And so all I need to do now is just put in the different parts of this page that make it delete staff. And the first thing I'm going to do to that end is put in a new PHP block. And straight away, I'm pulling back that staff ID that was passed over with the get method, and I'm assigning it into a variable called staff ID. And just to make sure that that works, I would always kind of at this stage, if I wasn't sure or if this was my first time that I was doing it, I can just put in an echo statement and just see if what I think I'm getting is what I'm going to get. So I've just saved that. Delete, I'm getting actual staff ID 1 there, and delete staff ID number 3, and I'm getting 3 on the next page. So that just proves that it works. So going back to my code, I'm going to take away that echo statement, and then we think about putting in my SQL statement. So starting off with delete from t_staff is the name of my table, where staff ID is equal to, and then I jump out of that string literal there, and I pop in the value of staff ID that is in the staff ID variable. Let's just get that. And that's the statement. And the next thing is to run that query. So I'm just going to execute the query, call the MySql query function, pass in the connection and the SQL statement, and that is a statement. So let's see if it works. I'm going to save, and I'm going to go back to my browser. So refresh, and we go ahead, and who will I want to delete? I'll delete Tim. So if I just click on the delete icon, doesn't look as if anything has happened there, but if I go back now and refresh, Tim has now disappeared. So go back to my code and let's just tidy this up. What I mean by tidying up is I shouldn't just leave this query to be executed and to leave a blank screen on that delete page. So what I would like to do is, if the query is successful, I should put out a message saying that the delete query has been successful. And if it's been unsuccessful, I should kind of say what the problem is, or that alert the user that something has gone wrong. So to do that, I'll do something akin to the following, where I put in an if-else statement. The MySQL query, if you look it up in the PHP function reference, it returns a true if the query was successful, and in that case I will just put out a message saying yes, the staff member has been successfully deleted, and it returns false if something went wrong. And so in that case I'll go into the else branch of the statement and say no, that delete was unsuccessful. And the last part of this is I will just put in a redirect that as soon as the user deletes the staff member, they will get to the delete page. It will get a message, hopefully saying that the staff member has been successfully deleted. And then I will let it rest there for a second, and then I want to return to the show staff page to see that the staff member has been successfully deleted. So in that case, I'm going to put in a meta refresh, and I'm just going to go back to show staff.php, and I'm just going to let that hang there for 1 second, and it's going to go back to show staff and refresh. That goes into the head section, and let's just see that in action. So back into the browser, I'll pick another one of the staff members, Karen this time, delete, yes, successfully deleted, and then it goes back to the staff page. So that is a delete as part of the CRUD functionality of a staff table.